Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host and founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation. Thanks for joining us this evening. Um, we've named the show Just Say No, but we're not going to do that quite yet because we got to thank the people that help bring us to you. So, John Gaston with Area 52 Media Group, we want to thank them. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. And his, I don't know, drive and vision and tenacity, pestering to get me here and keep me here. So if you want to do your own show, please get in touch with them. And we do this remotely now. We used to go into the studio every week, and now we do it remotely from the office of the Bobby White Foundation, and it is so cool. So anyways, so also we need to thank our sponsors, Dylan Gaston with the mortgage firm, Everything Mortgages. I can't reiterate much more how great she is, how knowledgeable she is, especially in times like this. And, purchasing your first home or even, refinancing, but particularly your first home. Your home is your biggest investment, and on the stress levels, besides losing somebody dying, buying a new home is at the top. If you didn't know that. So you want to have someone that you trust. And also Tammy White Galleries and Custom Framing, art, custom framing. Everything is done in-house property by a certified custom picture framer, me. So you know who handles everything. Nothing is shipped out. Everything is done here on the property. So, and to Area 52 and Galleries are the sponsors and hosts for Hope, which we'll talk about in just a second. But first, it's summertime. We're still having our support groups. So the next support group for Spring Hill is June 10th at the NAMI Hernando office, 6:30 p.m. sharp. Newport Richey is June 18th at the Oasis Coffee Spot, 6:30 p.m. sharp. These are free to attend. It is a peer-to-peer support group. So everybody there, including the facilitators, are loss survivors. So everybody may be on a different timeline on your journey, but that's what makes it helpful. And I know sometimes it's hard to. Support groups aren't for everyone, but they're really great for those that they are good for. Everybody is. It's amazing how cohesive, particularly our Hernando group, has turned out to be. We have people in our group that has come since we first started the group 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago this month is when we started the Hernando group. It's either this month or next month. And they were only a couple months out from their loss. And we have brand new people. And the whole the gamut, and different losses, spouses, partners, children, brothers. It's the whole thing. So for those that it's good for, it's great, and I highly recommend it. But we always also still we recommend it for everybody, but for some people in particular, that it's not the end all and be all to help you through your grief. In a lot of cases, most cases, you still need to or should find a therapist or a counselor to help you, because we only meet once a month. We do have some people that would like for us to meet more often than that, but like I said, we're facilitators of the group that are also loss survivors. So we have to do our own self-care also, and doing it more often than that would be too much for us at this point. And like for me, 'cause I co-facilitate the Spring Hill group, and then facilitate the Newport Richey group. Can't handle more than that at this time, because we would really like to start either a Dade City or Zephyr Hills on the other side of the county. Like I've said, our county is ginormous, and but I don't have enough volunteers, a volunteer that's trained enough to be able to do that at this time. But we're working towards it, so don't give up upon us, the east side of the county. So anyway, I had mentioned Art for Hope, which is coming up in September. Sponsorship is available for that now. And guess what? If you sponsor like now, what do we got? June, July, August, and the 1st of September, you get like 3 whole months of free promotion on this show and on all of our social media. So the sooner you sponsor, the more exposure that you get. So Art for Hope this year is on September 10th, which is actually International Suicide Prevention Day. This is our 9th annual. This is the first year it's fallen on International Suicide Prevention Day, which is really pretty cool. We always have it during the week. That week of September 10th, wherever that falls, is International Suicide Prevention Week. And of course, September is Suicide Prevention Month. And again, it's at the Hilton Garden Inn. We've had it there every year. And actually, they actually opened that year also. So they've supported us for the last 9 years. It's light hors d'oeuvres, cash bar, literally a cash bar. They don't take credit cards. Or no, it's not cash bar anymore. I had to have to say credit card bar. They don't take cash anymore. But we've had the same bartender for the last several years too. She's really great. They're really great hosts. We'll have again this year a keynote speaker. I have in mind who it's going to be. It might be a father-son duo. I just have to get confirmation on that, which I need to do like really soon. But we're going to have all different types of art. Kind of expanding that just a little bit. Of course, our gift basket raffles are always awesome. Jackie from JR World Travel usually does a lotto board, which we raffle off separately from the gift baskets. It's just, this event is different than our other fundraiser, the walk. It's a little bit more educational, I guess you would say. A little bit more, well, it's not really more laid back. I think the walk would be, but it's just more informational. And we get a pretty good turnout every year. This year, hopefully, my producer John is going to be there. And hopefully he said in my ear he will be there. So maybe we can get some live stuff going during the event. We've done stuff in the past where he's interviewed people. And I think if we can pull up, maybe between now and then, we'll pull up some of the past interviews and use them in the show leading up to Art for Hope. But it is a really good event. Where it's located here out at the Hilton Garden Inn, it's on the Suncoast and 54. If you're familiar with the Tampa Bay area, it's really super easy to get to from Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Polk County, Pasco County, Hernando County. And if you want to come from Citrus County, because it's just right there at the Suncoast and 54, super easy. It wasn't like super intentional that we started it this way, but it kind of ended up that way, and that was a good thing. So sponsorships are available. Contact me. You can either email me at the foundation, info at Tammy. I get the info at the BobbyWhiteFoundation.org, or call the office. Um, we can send out the sponsorship packets. If you just want to donate, it's free to attend. So we're pretty excited about it this year. So be sure you put that on your calendar. Check the Art for Hope Facebook page periodically. We'll be posting stuff on there. And the foundation Facebook page, the foundation website. It's going to be all over. So yeah, we're excited about that. I gotta have to have something to get super excited about, because it's really kind of weird, and I'm gonna share this with you because I think it's important to be open about what my feelings and how I handle my grief and just everything, because and I've shared a lot of this in the past. That's why we've got this far 5 years later. But a couple months ago it was the 10th anniversary of Bobby's death by suicide, and really in my head I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get to this 10-year mark, and it's going to be better. I'm going to be better. And it hasn't really been that way. I've really kind of struggled, and it's kind of hard for me because I really, really want it to be like such a million times better. And there are times that it is, but it doesn't last a long time. And we've talked about this a lot, and the professionals, Dr. Wolfelt, David Kessler, how they talk about how grief isn't linear. Even 10 years later, it's not. It comes in waves. You go forwards and you go backwards, and you go forwards and you go way backwards. I mean, it's just this up and down. And sometimes you just get so tired of it, you just want it to level out. Maybe someday it will, maybe someday it won't. It may never. I don't know. I'm on the same journey as everybody else in this situation. So, and I think it's important for me to share that, because I don't want people to think that I can just come here and do this show and try and pretend that, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm upbeat, and guess what? You're going to be better. I'm better, when it's not that way. But you know what? The biggest thing is support. I have people that support me and that help me when I get this way. My neighbor, I've shared with you that for every single day, and she can tell the way I talk. John here, when we do the show, and if I'm just kind of like, ugh, but he talks me up. We were talking about chickens before the show. Guess what? That helped my mood. So anyways, so let's share some other things and what the show kind of like is really about today. I'm getting ready to do a short program. I'm a member of Rotary, and our district conference is coming up the end of this month. And last year, we started a it's called our Mental Health Initiatives Action Group, for our district 6950 Mental Health Initiatives Action Group. It's taken time. Starting something like this takes way more time than what you think it takes, especially when you have to, in order to do it, you have to do things a certain way with international, and it's a lot, and it just takes more time than what you think. But in the long run, quite honestly, I think it's going to be better that way. But anyway, so they want me to do a presentation at our district conference. And so we've been working on presentation, and we want to go out to the different clubs within our district. Now, our district is big, like a lot of districts, although I think the districts in northern Florida are way bigger than ours. But our district is Citrus County, Hernando County, Pasco County, and Pinellas County. So all along the west central coast of Florida, which the northern part of it they call the Nature Coast. And I saw a post on, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I saw a post on Facebook this morning how we were known as the Nature Coast, and our government officials are taking away the nature and building gazillion homes right on top of each other. Our animals are having nowhere to go. But anyways, it's just a little rant. So I'm getting ready to do this presentation, and I brought it to my club is a real big backer, and we've taken it upon our club's initiative is mental wellness, but it encompasses suicide loss survivors, veterans, human trafficking. I think there was a fourth one, but I can't remember. I know there's a fourth one, but I can't remember. But they kind of all fall under the umbrella of mental wellness. So our club is kind of taking the lead in it. And so what I put together a slideshow that I showed them a few weeks ago. Got to do some tweaks on it. And then we're going to have a table with some handouts and, I don't have him here. Well, we have a show before that. So there's little goodie bags that I put together when we do tabling events. Oh, which, by the way, hopefully I don't mess John up too bad. We will be doing a tabling event next Saturday, the 13th, for NAMI Pasco. It's going to be at the Concourse Safety Town off 52. I don't remember the times. I think it's 10 to 1 or something like that. I believe you could still register for that walk. Just go to NAMI Pasco. I think it's namipasco.org. So there it is. Yeah. So we will be there next Saturday morning. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's go back to what I was talking about. So we're going to get some information together, and we'll have all this stuff some of the stuff at NAMI Pasco Walk. So anyways, so back to the Rotary Convention. So I've printed out some flyers that we're going to look at, and one of these is from the National Institute of Mental Health, and it's 5 action steps to help someone having suicidal thoughts. And there's a link to more information that I'll put in the comments later, where you can find this stuff a little bit easier. But you can print these off. Anyways, print this off, have them available. So 5 steps to, and this is actually from Be the One To, which we've done campaigns for in the past. So this is just real super simple. Number 1, ask and be direct. I've said this before. You can't beat around the bush. And this is what so many people are afraid of. You have to be direct. If someone isn't thinking about taking their life, and even if they are, asking them directly isn't going to make them take their life. You're going to save their life. Be there for them. Listen. Don't sit in judgment. Help keep them safe if they are. Keep them safe until you can hand them off to somebody that can help them. Emergency room, um, family member, help them connect, and that's where help keep them safe until you can help them connect with the crisis line, spiritual advisor, friend, mental health professional, and then follow up with them. And that's the follow up part is really super important because statistics show that even somebody that has um, been treated for suicide, when they are released, the highest risk for them to reattempt is 24 to 72 hours after they're released. So the follow up and staying connected is super, super important. So we're going to be sharing a bunch of this stuff at the Rotary convention in a couple weeks, and we have some links to the site. Be the one to. Oh, and we'll probably start that campaign again. It's like it's a 5-week campaign. Have the slides. We've done it in the past, so it's real easy. And this site has so much information, so much helpful information, great resources, resources in Spanish. It's a super great resource to keep on hand. So we'll have the link to this site also in the comments, so it's easy for you to get to. But even if you just Google "Be the One To," and it's the number one, "Be the One To," you'll find it anyways. But it's a super. Both these sites are really super great resources. And and that's the thing, there are resources out there, and a lot more than there were 10 years ago, and they're easier to get to now. So I'm not that sounds bad saying that there's no excuse, but I know that it's difficult, and that's why we're still having these issues, because the site is, the information is there. People just be open to it. Don't be afraid. Sitting in silence and watching people struggle and letting, I know it's not letting this happen. There's help out there. But I'm a realist too, and I know that even with all these resources that are available, a lot of times we're not going to be able to stop someone from taking their life. That is their true intent. I know that we have a lot out there, zero suicide things, and we're a part of 3 different coalitions here in the Tampa Bay area, but we're never going to get to a zero suicide. It would be great. It would be great that if someday that there's not a need for the Bobby White Foundation, but I don't see it happening. Not in my lifetime. Good news in Pasco this last few months. Our suicides have dropped every month. Of course, I'd shared that January we had 12, which just broke my heart. It was horrendous. But in the months up until, I think we just got, what are we in June? I can't remember if it was April or May. No, it has to be April. So February, March, and April, we were down to 2 and 3, which is, 1 is bad enough, but we have averaged, and if we add the 12 in from January, it isn't much better. But if you look at the little part, it is a lot better, because our county averages about 4 suicides a month, so that's 1 a week, um, on the low end. So, February, March, and April, we were 232 or something like that. So that was, fairly good news. It helps, when you're out there trying to do the work and educate the community. But we only have a few minutes left, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this part of it anyways. Getting ready to do this, I had something happen. The name of the show is Just Say No. So you don't have to do everything somebody wants you to do. It may not be right for you. In preparing for this event, we have a meeting, a retreat this weekend, and they want me to do this presentation like within a few days. And some people don't realize what it takes for someone like me to pull this together and to do it. And basically it was for a critique. You don't know what someone like me has gone through and what it takes for us to present. And it's not as though that I am new at presenting this information to people. So me presenting to 7 people under a critique is not going to work. I came home super, super upset. And I told them I would do it. But guess what? I'm not. Because that presentation isn't going to be the same as a presentation that I'm going to give to maybe 100 people. It's not. A lot of it is the feeling in the room and the people in the room. Yeah, granted, I may say some of the same things. I'm not going to say them the same way, but you're not going to pressure me into giving you this presentation. I've got 3 weeks, 2 weeks, even if it's 2 weeks, to put this together. And I'm not going to be pushed into doing it. It's hard enough. And it's not as though I don't have other things to do. I have the foundation to run. I've got the gallery to run. So it's okay to say no for your own mental health, no matter what it is. Even if it's family members and somebody's trying to tell you how to grieve, it's not their grief, it's yours. Just remember that. And even Dr. Wolfelt says 1/3 of the people are not going to be helpful. You don't need them. You don't need to do it. Remember, put these phone numbers in your phone, have them memorized. 911. You might be just the one to save just one person. Because remember, there is always hope. Thanks for joining us this evening. Have a good week.